Hello and welcome to do random things. Welcome to the Fireside chat, the first ever Fireside stream. That's it, Fireside chat is something else. Fireside stream. I am your host, Raymond McNeil, with co-host Mollie Rhinemaster. And as you can see, I've redecorated. Yes. Oh god, I was getting so sick of that pre-made format, and it looked ugly. Also, yeah, we have Tiny Weiss.
Tiny Weiss.
Oh, we will look into the future of getting a dedicated Tiny Weiss camera. So, today's stream, we're not reading any one given book. We are reading a plethora of things and having just little discussions about certain things. So, we're just looking to have just a nice, relaxing stream. Nothing super intense going on. I'm going to put on Hollow. Not Sins of the Father. I don't need Sins of the Father playing. Where is Hollow? Hollow Skies. There it is. Ah, yes. Wonderful song. Basically, today we're just doing some nice relaxing things. We have a few questions asked to me and Mollie about the nature of RWBY Volume 8. And then afterwards, we have some fanfiction of questionable quality that we're thinking of reading.
Very questionable quality. This is not a monetized stream.
Yeah. So remember, if you want...
It is fun. Yeah.
If you want to support us, please donate, as you can see in the link in the middle there. Now, you may have noticed, I did remove chat from this format. I've played with how to keep them integrated, and it wasn't working. So, sadly, chat will no longer be on screen, but I don't plan on moving these from my YouTube channel anytime soon, so it kind of muddles out. If you really want your words on screen, donate. Because I am a money-grubbing bastard.
And I'm a college student.
Yes.
So, same thing.
So, to get right into this is a tweet from Adam Ogabi, I believe his name is, who basically wanted to take my mind off of recent political things, which, I mean, it got into a bit of a tussle on the Twitters because that was a fun little topic. But having a little Q&A over RWBY Volume 8, especially he added Minnie Weiss needed to join as well. And if anyone else has questions, we will look into doing them in the future on the Discord. But for now, these are the questions leveled to us by Adam, and I guess we should start answering. Questions he would like us to... do you think the show will remember... will the Atlesian battle fleet actually fight Salem's Grim?
There is no power scaling of the Atlesian army. So it really is a roll of the dice.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I could easily see it as, oh, it's such a surprise attack that just got taken out in one go. But I'm going to hazard on there's going to be a bit of a fight. I get the feeling that Atlas is going to be relatively untouched at the beginning of things. It's mostly Mantle that's going to get screwed. I think there's going to be a major battle at Atlas, I think. That's really hard to predict. Number two.
I think if they do use the Atlesian battle fleet, it's just gonna be so RWBY can hop from like ship to ship because that's cool, you know.
Ooh, that's a
or
good
like
call.
To drop them on top of the Grim because these people with light weaponry are so much more effective than like ballistic cannons.
I like that call. That's a very good call. I could also see them being like Warfed, where like the entire fleet like shows up. It's like this really imposing force, and it just gets wiped out in like one battle. I see that happening. Number two, will the show make use of Goat Girl's pocket dimension semblance?
I keep forgetting these people.
Yeah, Fiona. I remember Fiona because I think she's actually like a really cute design. She's a really adorable character.
I mean, I remember her design, but like, who was she?
Of all the Happy Huntresses, she was the only other one that had character besides Robin. She seemed to be like a cheery, kind of happy-go-lucky. She was their PR person. Like,
Was she the one that got was she the one that got gutted?
Yep. And she's fine.
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't look like that. But okay.
Well, she didn't get gutted. She got, like, clawed, like, scratched, kind of like Crow did.
I know, but, like, I think people really overestimate how thin the lining of this, like how thin it is between the soft tissue and all your organs. Yeah. You know?
Let's see. Brady Hickman saying Penny catches a falling atlas, like in the end of, Sky High.
Sky High.
And looking from Atlas. Oh, did you know that Sky High is apparently fascist propaganda?
It's what propaganda?
It's fascist propaganda, apparently.
Did Twitter say that?
No, Jack Saint did. He's a reviewer on YouTube, who is often on Twitter. So
that lines up.
You think her semblance would solve the Salem situation? Possibly. Oh, hey, media, you came back just in time for question number 2. Will the show... number 3, actually, because we just talked about Goat Girl. I think they might find a use for it, but I don't have any faith that they will. Question number 3. Will the show properly use May's AoE invisibility field properly? You're asking if they're going to use semblances properly. I'm going to remind you, this is a show that has yet to actually use a semblance properly since, like, Volume 2.
Who is May?
Is it? No, it's not May. It's,
Weren't there 2 Mays? Weren't there 2 Mays?
Oh, it might be 2 Mays. She was the same one, that was, she was the cousin to Henry, who was that asshole that Weiss had to deal with at the party in Volume 4.
The one that they used for Twitter points.
Yeah,
the Stunning and Brave?
The Stunning and Brave, yeah.
Stunning and Brave, yeah. This is how I remember characters.
Your camera's a little out of focus.
My camera? I don't know what to do about that.
Or maybe that might just be bitrate connection. Let me see.
No, that actually is out of focus. So
weird. Oh, it's clearing up a little bit. Alright, it's fine.
Internet is anti-fascist. No fascist be like, today I will call myself an anti-fascist. For real, though.
I don't know, the guy had actually some good arguments why it was a fascist movie. Like, I can see his points. I don't agree with them, but I see what he's talking about. Will the show remember that Mantle's heating is off, and without proper heat source, citizens will freeze? Oddly enough, I think that one is going to be brought up. My gut's telling me that one is actually going to be addressed.
Yeah. That is something that they set up. And I know it's Ruby. And I know that they forget things. And I know they don't actually know what they're ever setting up with characters, but I will trust them to remember that.
Yeah, the weird thing about it...
The other May was the sniper from Bronze. Didn't she die?
Yeah, there's Mei Zedong, who I think did die. I'm pretty sure that most of Bronze
I'm checking the wiki. Hold on.
I think they confirmed her, like, I think in the book, we just read, I think they confirmed that most of Bronze is dead.
I hate that.
Like, I actually liked Team Bronze. They had some interesting designs. I liked May's design. She was cute. Guys, was it May and Reese? I shipped May and Reese. I think they were cute together. Even though
status deceased. No. No.
They got rid of her because they didn't want to deal with all the political implications of having a character named Mei Zedong. All right.
Trivia: according to designer Erin Wynn, she gave May a beanie covering her eye because she thought it was cool. Wow, they really just have the most riveting information on the Ruby Wiki.
Okay, scrolling up on this. Do 5. Will Salem actually use her magic and instant revive just to destroy everything? You see, the thing is, I don't think Salem's regeneration is instantaneous. It took her a while to reform after Ozpin, like, basically nuked her. So if they were to, like, throw her into a lava pit, it would take her a couple of weeks, probably, to reform, something like that. So I'm not entirely sure.
By the way, girlfriend in chat, she got me this hat, so she's happy about the fact that I'm wearing it.
Okay.
Thanks for the hat.
Burns is KI, cause of death, lack of plot armor. All of Team...
They haven't brought up the gods in a long time. Yeah, that's true. Remember when they introduced Winter in Volume 3 and didn't bring her back until 6? If that. No, they didn't bring her back until 7.
No, she had a cameo in Season 6. The trailer for Weiss in Season 6.
I know, but she wasn't... That was a lit trailer. I miss Weiss, whatever Weiss isn't on screen, or Weiss's family's on screen. Anyway.
Let's see.
My situation for Salem that I hope that they do is they try to, like, lock her in a gate, like a concrete... Like, they take one of those shipping containers and fill it with concrete and then shove it to the bottom of the ocean.
I hope they actually perfect, like, interstellar flight. Because this is my solution. If someone is immortal, what you do, you throw them into a sun.
Yeah.
Because, like, even if
no one's that immortal.
Even if they don't die, even if they, like, one molecule of them survives to reconjugate itself, they're in a sun. What are they going to do? That's like the strongest gravitational force we know at this rate, aside from a black hole. Throw them in a black hole! That's even more terrifying because they don't die at the end.
They just have to live in the infinitesimally dense gravitational pull of a black hole.
They have to deal with infinitesimal time dilation and their body being torn apart on a molecular level at, like, the slowest speeds possible. So, like, basically that's what Ruby has to do. They have to find a black hole, throw Salem into it. Problem solved. Totally easy, guys. You can do this overnight. I swear. Ignore the fact that they can't leave the atmosphere except for magic.
And there's no magic.
No, they have magic. They have the artifacts. Okay, let me just scroll up slowly again. Okay. There we go. Number 6. Will Tyrion be out just murdering people randomly without holding back? I feel like they're going to save him. I don't think he's going to be just out and about killing people willy-nilly. What do you think?
I hope so, because it would be funny. But, I think that didn't Tyrion crash like a mile away, like several miles away from anything in a frozen thunder?
I just want them to cut to Tyrion, who's been injured and has his like aura dampened and like weakened. Like everyone, you know, they get through the whole volume and everyone's just like, hey, where did Tyrion go? And it just cuts to Tyrion dead in the snow, freezing over, because he couldn't make it back to the city in time to get warm. I think that'd be great. He just dies in the fucking winter wasteland. It'd be amazing.
By the way, hi Rev. Rev, my new buddy Rev, my new music buddy. Shout outs to Rev. Does some great stuff in FL Studio.
I'm very excited to see how that pans out.
It'll be good. We're working on finding the happy point between someone who's used to composing drum and bass and someone who's used to composing orchestral, trying to write a rock song.
That's, I mean, you'll get maybe you'll get a Miles. That's not Miles. Miles, Monty, Marty. That's it. Marty O'Donnell situation. That's the whole thing about Marty O'Donnell that's really interesting, is that he's the composer for Halo, or was the original composer for Halo. His whole background was the fact that he was a rock musician.
Yeah, and then he went into...
Then he became like the video game musician, and he's just like, well, let's go, you know, orchestral with this. Why not chop Salem into pieces and hide her away in the vaults? And vaults could lead to a sequel of villains trying to put her back together. Maybe. Tyrion gets guts a tauntaun, survives the night, and then gets picked up by Salem. Yeah. Black hole semblance. Fiona could honestly probably solve the situation just by sucking Salem into her hand. Which means I'm hypothesizing at some point Fiona's gonna die. Although they had their chance to kill her off and they didn't take it. It was weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she also get gutted?
What? No, Fiona was the one that got slashed. She was the one that got slashed by Tyrion.
Okay.
And survived. Jack the Cat actually said,
Yes.
I like bronze because their designs looked quote-unquote normal. I'd love to see average people dealing with the horrors that that being a huntsman and remnant would have in a show that it ignores. I mean, we kind of get that in the books. A little bit. I know Mollie and I only read together the second book, but in the first book, like, you actually see Coco dealing with some heavy, like, claustrophobia, not really paranoia, but, like, all the weird side effects that come with being claustrophobic and being forced into uncomfortable situations. So we get a little bit of that in the books. We don't get everything that I would like.
Someone says the fireplace sound.
What, does the fireplace have sound? Oh my god! That was not intentional. There was not supposed to be a fireplace sound. I did not realize that was in there. My apologies. Why didn't no one tell me? Until Abe.
Okay, we're like 20 minutes into the stream. Why do I just not... I should have rewatched Volume 7 before this stream.
A lot of why they don't do the thing against Salem stuff is that she's not going to let them do it. Like, they can easily make Salem too strong to be sucked in by Fiona. I don't know if anyone's too strong to be sucked in by Fiona, man. Sorry. Well, I didn't know. Of course, I didn't notice that the fire was loud because I don't listen to my own stream. I'd be hearing my own voice in, like, stereo. It'd be awkward.
Yeah. Also, you'd be hearing it like 30 seconds delayed.
Yeah.
By the way, but about the Coco thing and like the average people thing, like, general rule, in an action setting where a lot of people have special powers, the most interesting people are like the normies.
There, I'm turning the fireplace on and making it very quiet, so it's just like a nice gentle background sound. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck. I just pulled this from a frickin' stream of fireplace ambiance.
Ren, Ruby, Jion, Blake, Nora, or Yang, who would most likely turn into the anti-villain? None of them, because that would be a risk.
Ren.
What is with this fandom's like chronic spelling delays? It's been like 7 years, and there are some people that can't spell Pyrrha right.
Okay, to be fair, Pyrrha is just a weird name.
I know, but like you see it on screen. Anyway, what is everyone's favorite V7 song from this V7 soundtrack? Mine is Celebrate. Well, your taste is terrible, but
mine is the silence in every scene that doesn't have music.
If I had to choose, I think it was Hero was the good one. I had them separated into the good, the bad, and the uggos, and I think Celebrate was pretty low in the uggos. Did Celebrate have a rap in it? Because if it did, that's the lowest it goes.
I think it was the one the fight against Ironwood that was like the best in that volume.
Yeah, that's Hero.
That's Hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only one that stuck out to me.
Yes.
Everything else was garbage.
Yes, the uggos were Brand New Day, Let's Get Real, Celebrate, and the rap part of Celebrate. I have no idea why this like 60-year-old man is so convinced that he can write like cheesy pop songs, but
mediocrity.
It keeps happening.
My favorite song is the one I don't.
It's always the
listen
worst
to.
songs.
$20 says Robin's going to be Headmaster General after Volume 8.
Bro, Robin's gonna be like a Christ figure by the end of Volume 8.
And not if they're smart and they decide to drop her. Like, God. Although, I mean, then again, I have plans for Robin that are going to be interesting, so I'm excited. All right, so let's
Best
continue with
song
these
for
questions.
best character. It's facts that the best characters in the show get the best songs. Except, wait.
It's just Weiss.
No, Blake doesn't have any good songs.
It's literally just Weiss.
It's just Weiss, and
I am on the. I actually like From Shadows. I actually like how it hops like through 4 different genres. I think that's very. It has a very interesting story to tell in that it jumps genres constantly. I like the piano bits at the beginning, and then it switches to that like lo-fi hip hop like beat, and then it goes into
I just
the rock.
can't get behind the singing. If the singing was different and not born with no life into subjugation, I might get behind it more.
I mean, in fairness, I'm a little muted to that because I love, unironically, I love that emo cringy type music. Like I love that stuff, and that's nowhere near the bottom of the list when it comes down to that kind of that vocal track.
That's true. As the years have gone on, I've grown more fond of From Shadows, and a lot of that is because A, I'm less of a bitch than I was 5 years ago, and B, there's a lot worse now.
Yeah, you have points of comparison.
Yes.
So let's see. 7 is Watts' electronic manipulation technology based on based or semblance based, and will he escape? Oh, he's definitely going to escape somehow.
I don't think
oh my god!
Semblance.
All right, this would redeem the fact they kept Watts alive when I think they should have killed him. It needs to, like, their entire subplot is just him and Jacques with a prison breakout heist.
Just this full Shawshank Redemption level plot.
Yeah, like
absolute
completely unrelated to everything else. It's just Jacques and him trying to escape. That's it. So that's my caveat there. But is it technology? I think it's supposed to be technology based. I don't think he has a semblance. I think they confirmed.
No, I'm pretty sure they confirmed that in the same string of tweets that ruined Ironwood.
Yeah, which I'm disregarding. Ironwood will have a different semblance. I don't even know. He might have a use. He might be the one that has tuna sandwich semblance.
Blake doesn't have a song that just focuses on her only. Oh my gosh. I think he's right. From Shadows is about her and Adam.
It's about her and Adam and the White Fang. It's more of like a White Fang song overall.
Like Morning Follows Night is her and Sun. Nevermore is her and Yang. I don't think she has a solo theme. That's really interesting.
Yang has a solo theme because she has the very first one. She has I Burn.
She is.
I Burn, and
I Burn is okay. Until the End is the only good song in Volume 7. Until the End is okay. I just think that contextually it's weird because...
Does Ruby have a solo song?
Yeah, she has Red Like Roses.
No, that's not. Red Like Roses is, especially when you get to Part 2, which I don't know if that counts, if like Part 2 reflects upon Part 1. It's about Ruby and her mother.
Well, it's from her perspective, though, in the same way that, like...
Well, on the flip side, also, like Red Like Roses covers all
Blake
4
is
members.
Just an accessory for other characters.
God, you see, the thing is, if I got control of the show, the things I could do with that by actually making that a plot point. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's one of my favorite things is like, okay, let's look at the flaws that are currently here. Let's turn them into plot points, make them relevant, and because okay, so. If anyone doesn't want to hear spoilers for Star Trek DS9, mute for like the next 3 minutes. Star Trek DS9 is one of my favorite shows of all time, and part of the reason why is it has a character named Dr. Julian Bashir, who in the very early seasons, like seasons 1 through 4, is damn near perfect. He's super brilliant, he's super young, super suave, super attractive, and just this huge braggart. And people apparently had an issue with him. In season 5, it was either season 4 or 5, I think, they introduce our man Bashir. And in the episode, it's revealed that his parents actually genetically modified him, which is a huge no-no in the Star Trek universe. One of the main antagonists of the first generation of Star Trek was Nunyan Kong, who was like the big bad of the second movie, who was a genetically engineered Superman, and like basically the reason why it was completely outlawed. And so like they gave this they just introduced this plot point that basically explains why Julian was this perfect, wonderful person that was great at everything he did. And they explained it all retroactively, and in the process create a huge point of conflict between him and everyone else on the crew, because suddenly everyone's like, you're a genetically modified, like, freak or super soldier? Like, they don't know how to interact with him. His best friend is pissed at him because he's been actually faking being bad at darts the whole time when they were playing together. And so at the very end of the episode, he's like, all right, Julian, do your, actually try this time. And so he tries it with their normal distance and gets an all perfect bullseyes with 5 throws. It's like, all right, fine. From now on, you do it from back here. And he, like, doubles the distance. And if that doesn't work, we add a blindfold. And it's just like, they ended up taking a character flaw, as in like a writing flaw of the character, and turning it into a strength for the show to make it much more interesting and in depth. And that was a plot point that kept on running through the rest of the series. So it's like, if you take Blake in this circumstance, that she's an accessory to everyone else, you could have her have an entire crisis over the fact that she doesn't have an identity of her own. That was my point. Sorry, didn't mean to go off on a ramble there.
Anyway, so all I was gonna say is that Until the End is funny because it's White Girl Piano Song number 4028, but the woman who wrote it is a graduate of Berklee College of Music, and you would have thought she learned a bit more from her 4 years at the best music conservatory on the East Coast. But hey, my favorite white girl piano song is Lost Boy by Ruth G. But that's also the only other one I know that's of similar quality.
What do you expect from someone whose entire education was paid for through novelty clothing that's garbage? God, I hate that Yang flannel. Oh my god. It's literally just a check. It's generic yellow flannel with Yang printed on it. Like, what the hell? I've always been more of a fan. If you're going to make like clothing for a brand, I'm less about logos.
Wait, someone DM me a picture of the Yang flannel.
Have you not seen it?
Is it the one where they just like put a like ironed a picture on the back?
No. That's the denim jacket. Here.
The only song so far to not focus on the wind side was Big Metal Shoe. That's not true. You have Sacrifice. You had Divide, which is the best song in Volume 3 and the one good song in Volume 3. You had anyway.
There you go.
But we don't talk about Big Metal Shoe in chat, or else you're gonna give me some sort of trauma flashback.
There you go. That's the Yang flannel.
The song for Monty. I really hated Cold because it's so generic and boring, and it's supposedly about a man who was so special and individual, and they're just like, you're not here anymore, and that's sad. And like that's the song.
Did you see the Yang flannel?
Oh, let me look at it.
How much is that, people? How much is that? Chat, tell me, how much is the Yang flannel? It's some ludicrous price. Molly.
Get it, everyone? Because they're gay, and that's what gays wear is flannels, because they have no personality, and just they all wear the same thing.
Molly, gauge for me,
right,
just
guys?
upon what you assume, how much would that cost, just if it were just a regular yellow flannel?
Okay, if I was in just the H&M, I would wager $7 or $8.
I was gonna wager, like, let's assume it's nice, $20.
That's fair.
It's fair for a nice Izanagi. No, it can't be $100. No, I thought it was like $60.
It was $100.
I think it was like 60. I don't know where he's pulling. That, I think, was the jacket. Was the jacket with the picture stamped on the back. Yang flannel ruby.
All right, chat's going fast. Guys, if you have a burning question for us to ask, please super chat it. so we don't miss your questions.
Where is the... Okay. Yeah, I was right. It's $60. It's $60 for that garbage. It's literally just a yellow flannel with Yang's name printed on it. Like, there's ones that work. Like, there's a cool... Like, there's a cool rose design one that I actually really like. That I'm like, okay. Oh, no, they pulled that one down. There are some better designs, but, like, God, some of these are just terrible. I love it. I love Ruby slowly just destroying its brand. Wonderful.
The thing is, there are people that will pay that price because they're like, it's Yang, and it's the flannel, and I have no personality outside of having my pronouns in my bio, so I have to buy it.
Proxy Doug, I actually did, and if you actually scroll down, Floof replied to it, and Eddie replied to him, and actually appreciated Floof's. It was one of the most miraculous things I have ever seen come out of the Ruby fandom, where a writer actually listened to the Floof artist. Guys!
Wild.
Guys!
We've come such a long way from no spoiler questions.
Guys, I genuinely, I got a spark of hope from that. I got a genuine spark of hope. It didn't last super long, but I got that spark. Yeah, but no, that denim jacket, sorry, I wanted to finish up. That denim jacket with the ugly print on the back was like $120, $140. When I could probably learn how to do that for like, what, a denim jacket, probably what, $50 at most? Nice denim jacket. Get an ironing thing. I could do that. We are...
Floof is a madman.
Oh, he really is. Now, anyway, let's move on to the next question.
Opinions about other Rooster Teeth shows. I don't watch other Rooster Teeth shows. What do you think I am?
Will history repeat itself if and someone else will die in front of Ruby, either Cinder, Salem, and Neo? Okay. Oh, we'll get back to the main question. Cross Devil donating $5. Do you guys think that any hero on the team will sacrifice themselves, or do you think there will be a betrayal? There might be a betrayal. Sacrifice. They seem so hesitant to kill off main characters. They've only done it with Pyrrha once in Volume 3, and it's been 4 volumes since then, and not a main character has died.
I think I mentioned before that they have the Ace Attorney syndrome, where they can't kill somebody who was introduced not in that part.
Except
twice.
Yeah, they did it with Pyrrha. They did it with
twice.
Who was the second?
In Spirit of Justice, they did it with someone in Spirit of Justice.
I'm trying to remember who did it in Spirit of Justice.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. The game is 4 years old, and maybe someone didn't play it. I don't know. Play Ace Attorney.
Play Ace Attorney, guys. It's wonderful.
Point is, it doesn't really build tension in a serial like Ruby to just nobody's in danger here. Nora's not going to throw herself kamikaze style into a giant Grim. You know?
But the betrayal thing, they are setting... I think they are setting something up with Ren.
They're setting up Winter for that.
I think they're setting something up with Ren.
They already set that up with Winter. That'll be interesting if it's with Ren.
Well, because, like, he was really on Ironwood's side.
I just can't take Ren seriously because his character development is so sparse. What?
Well, because remember when Ironwood was asking if everyone's on board, Ren was the only one to reply not just in the affirmative, but enthusiastically in the affirmative.
Huh.
So I'm thinking they are really trying to set up Ren as as someone who's going to, like, not fall to Salem, but fall to Ironwood's side of the argument.
That would be really cool. But yes, Insane Oddball is probably more accurate. Watch them do nothing with Ren. The thing is about Ren is I could never take him seriously because he has no emotions, and ever since this is bad, it's just kind of difficult.
Yeah, to be fair, Volume 5 basically killed the show. I think everyone's on board with that. Like, the show has been limping limping out of a grave, effectively. Like, it's trying to reanimate itself. This arc, but I really hope Ren gets captured and tortured in this volume for information, but doesn't crack until they threaten Nora and Ruby gets lured into a trap to save him, only to confront Salem. That's not dark. That's, like, generic. That's pretty stock fare, honestly.
Yeah.
But, you know...
What are the chances
okay.
of Ironwood kneeling to the heroes and admitting he's wrong? 97%.
I put it at 80%. I think it's likely, but they surprised me with Ironwood in the first place, so anything's on the table. And to say, CJ, it's generic for a good story. For Ruby, it would be astounding. I want to clarify that, because there's two different metrics we're using when it comes to things.
Yeah. I remember explaining in different contexts. I explained this to Eradicate. But in engine dynamics, we have the concept of relative velocity, which is if you're driving on a highway at 60 miles an hour, and a car comes up next to you going 80 miles an hour, that car is relatively not going super fast from your point of view, but from a bird's eye view, one's going 60, one's going 80. So Ruby is the relative motion here. When it does something average from our perspective, it is going different than another perspective might see it.
Yeah. If Ruby doesn't snap and go ham next volume from Cameron Delk. Gotta say, Cameron, I love your last name. Because that's just like a weird last name,
Yeah.
and like it sounds like you belong in a fantasy game. It's like the better, cooler version of Zeldinkt. Cameron Delk. Sounds cooler. Just saying.
Zeldink. Bro, I love it when JRPGs characters just have people names.
Francis.
How about Tara Branford?
Where was he from?
Tara Branford is the main character of Final Fantasy VI.
I've never played 6. Never played 6.
Or less. or Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, half of them just have the...
Also, doesn't
What's
6
your
sort of
last
have like a
name?
floating
Dominic.
main character? Doesn't Final Fantasy
What?
6 sort of have like a floating main character slot?
Okay, so they wrote a lot of they wrote like 7 characters as though they were the protagonist, but it is, for the first half of the game, Locke and Terra are the main characters, but the second half it's less.
So let's see. If Ruby doesn't snap and go ham next volume, I don't know if we're gonna see Ruby go ham. Like, we've already seen what happens when Ruby gets angry.
Ruby
She tells
ham.
us.
I'm angry, Yang. I'm about to go fucking apeshit. You better all stand back.
Just like she just like in one swoop just cuts off Mercury's head and then like bats it into like Emerald's face with her scythe. Like just like one moment of like over the top horrific gore.
Did you hear that Crescent Rose is canonically only 5 pounds?
What?
Yes! Crescent Rose weighs as much as my guitar. Maybe less.
A Barrett 50 cal, which mind you is what it's modeled on, is like at least 12, if not 13, or like if not like upwards of 20 on its own. Sniper rifles are not light, especially ones that can compact down into like the size of a briefcase and expand into a sight. Like, do they realize how stupid that, like, because they don't understand I learned this from watching Shadiversity. Not Shad-based, Shadiversity. I caught myself this time. In the most recent episode, he talked very much about the weight of a weapon being important because he wanted to talk about the idea of carbon fiber swords and how they wouldn't work because they can't hold an edge, but also because they'd be
50 costs 28 pounds.
Oh, it's 50. Oh yeah. Holy shit. So the weight of a weapon is incredibly important to its cutting ability, and a scythe, especially being a purely cutting weapon, needs weight. You need it to be heavy.
I don't think they understand that, like, 5 pounds is like the garden axe we have. That's this long, and you use it for chopping wood. Also, somebody mentioned how Pro Jared did a review of FF6 and said that every song was the best song. That's because it is.
Yeah, no, he was. I love that review of his. He's just so happy reviewing that.
I'm happy when I think about that game too.
So let's see. Actually, moving on to the questions that started this whole chat. Will history repeat itself and someone else will die? We already covered that one. I don't think anyone they have a real problem killing people. Number 9, will Ironwood be smart enough to try and send a ship with a message to the outside world addressing the Atlas situation? No.
No, because I didn't even think of that. And so there's no way they didn't think of that.
And number 10, will none of this get addressed and the show suck?
Yes.
Yes. And that's it for this one. For this particular segment, you can still ask questions about Ruby throughout this entire time. I'm not going to stop anyone. I really love that kind of stuff. Now, but the question is, what should we move on to next? We have the Loud House revamped. We have Yin and Thor stories.
Guys, there's the new longest work in the history of literature.
We have Yin and Thor stories, and we have Together We Can Handle It. Which should we go for? I mean, Together We Can Handle It is going to be a little spicy, I think, politically. You sent me a message via Twitter DMs. I'll have to check that.
Oh, that one. My friends were going over that. No. We're gonna get flagged for that one if we start making fun of it.
All right, noted. And no, I'm not gonna bring that up right now. Right now. Thoughtful Pug.
Guys, if any of you have, by the way, Cross Double, yes, I am a fan of Danganronpa. Good stuff.
I am not.
So, if you have any shitty fanfic, and it has to be bad good, you feel like, don't just give me like some dumb. It has to be bad good. Send it on over.
The gold standard. The gold standard is My Immortal. Like that's the gold.
Find something of that quality, or some. I really love the hyper dramatic ones where like somebody like in this one, like these two characters start kissing and one like gropes the other, which is like a normal escalation, and then they like profusely apologize for like. It's practically assault. I didn't get your blood sign consent form.
Oh,
bro, it doesn't work like that.
But what should we go with? What should we have? So if we're not doing Together We Can Handle It, because that's what we're talking about. By the way, that one is woo-hoo! That's a fun ride, but that's a really spicy topic. There's Yin and Thor stories and the Loud House revamped. How's this? L's in chat for Loud House, Y's in chat for Yin and Thor.
Okay, so we should give some context. One of them is the longest work in the history of the English language and possibly ever. And the other is Rule 63 Big Smut. The Big Smut.
We have a Y. We have a Y. We have an L. We have an L. We have a Y. We have a Y. We have a Y.
It looks like we're getting Ys.
Yeah, I think we're getting wise. Unless this is the chat doing a rendition of Backstreet Boys. Tell me why.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're getting wise. Azagi, that's tip of the iceberg, and I say this as a Fate fan.
Oh, you know what has great shitty fan fiction? Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan fans, bring it on.
I mean, I'll be completely lost, but I mean, Molly will be having a good time.
Bro, there's so much like self-insert like shitty fanfic. My favorite is when their names are like Tiger Lily Sapphire, and then everybody else's name is like Fritz. Because they're all German.
Oh god, there's a lot of like there's the inverse of that in Ruby, in the Ruby fandom, where a lot of people are just like, I'm Franklin, I'm Bill. It makes against, you know, characters named Ruby Rose and Yang Zhao Long, like
they're afraid of doing anything that might be offensive.
Oh man.
Descendants fanfiction.
Descendants? What's Descendants?
Descendants is, I believe it is a TV show, maybe a cartoon about like the children of like Disney villains. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! I remember hearing reviews, like a Nostalgia Critic when he was doing Disney December to all the shitty direct-to-DVD films.
Oh,
I like the premise. It has a decent premise, but it doesn't sound like it was done well at all.
It's cute. It's cute.
All right, I think we have consensus on what we're going for.
Yeah.
So we're going. So we should have. Wait, what?
Bad X-Reader fans. I saw like Captain Marvel X-Reader, and it's like the saddest thing ever. Bro, choose better people to thirst over, at the very least.
Okay, wait. Why is this not?
Are we
working?
like legally allowed to read this stuff on? Are we legally allowed to read this stuff on YouTube?
Why wouldn't we?
I don't know. Don't they have a thing about NSFW content?
Probably. Also, my screen capture isn't working. One moment. Properties.
Big mommy milkers could be a Ruby character's name.
There
that
we
makes you think of a color.
All right, here we go. Yin and Thor Stories by Drarnegas. I don't want to read that name anymore. I feel like I'm going to say a really bad word by accident. Summary: stories that generally revolves of Yang (parentheses Yin) and male Nora Thor fucking the various females and males sometimes of the Ruby universe, adding in other females from various fandom. Notes: Ruby thought this was going to be a regular game of truth or dare until she had to take off her clothes. Or take her clothes off. Okay. You can see I'm already going to be recorrecting certain things. Just by accident. So,
don't worry, I'm good at reading bad things.
How do we want to do this? Because like we had a clear system when we read last time.
Can we just go line by line?
I guess so, but like switch off every line, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Can one really play true or dare with only 3 people? Ruby asked as her big stepbrother Yin and their friend Thor sat down in a circle. Oh Lord! I did not read any of this before going in. I was going purely on Molly's suggestion. We're in it, folks!
Of course you can, as long as it more than just 2, then it's all game, Yin said as he sprung the bottle and it stopped at him.
Okay, Yin, true or dare, Thor said.
True.
Okay, what apostrophe S, Ruby apostrophe S, nickname for Crescent Rose?
Is that kind of question for me? Ruby, look at Thor puzzling.
Trying to get the yes, but I am also sure that Yin knows his little stepsister's weapon just as good as you might. Let me see where I am on this. Okay.
And I do, which is why I know she call her weapon baby or darling as a nickname.
Yin! It has to be like, Yin! It's loud, but like
Okay,
no exclamation.
I need the context. When I sent this to Raymond, it was as a joke. I didn't think it actually do this much to you.
I like the idea that, like, every Friday we're just gonna get on here and read bad fan fiction to people. I like that idea. People, please send me bad fan fiction. Just send it on Twitter and Discord. Just send me this stuff. We will find the good stuff and read it. All right. But yes, Yin, Ruby said, blushing.
Hey, that was correct. What I had to tell the truth. That's why I chose it, he said before Thor started to spin the bottle. This time it stopped at Ruby.
Okay, Ruby, true or dare, Yin ask.
Sure. Sure, she said.
What kind of panties are you wearing?
What kind of question is that? Exclamation point.
The question that I ask you, now you have to tell us, or you have to do a dare.
Ruby, just look at the two older and much stronger males, her full face red. She was going over whether, like in the sky, not whether, preposition, or not, if she was going to answer or not, but then she had to do a dare. It's my normal black once where I said it. She said, her face red as her cape. Like my face.
Cute. Now spin the bottle, Thor said, before Ruby spun the bottle and it landed on Thor.
I hate that we're losing subs.
Are we losing subs?
It says 60. We were at like 60.
Where are you guys going? This is the best content right now. Guys, get your friends. If you guys have friends that like fan fiction and like reading bad fan fiction, get them in here. Why are you opening... Oh, let's read some of the chat here. Why are you guys opening Pandora's box again? Still leaving this on and open to help your analytics. Wait, are you leaving? Are you leaving media?
I think he's God.
I can only handle so much today. Okay. What's the name of this fanfic? It's called Yin and Thor Stories. You can read along. Here, you know what? I'll help out with that.
Only death is here. That's volume 5.
There you guys go.
I probably shouldn't be here doing work.
Don't run away, you cowards. Face your fears. We're losing more people. Come on, guys. And I got the pandemic special. This is a war crime, Ray. This is a war crime. No, this is art. My friend, this is the highest of art. All right, let's pick this up. Where were we?
Wait, what's Ruby's workout?
Oh, no, we're not doing Ruby's workout. All right? That's a J lullaby. And that gets that's a comic. It's a Doshun. Yeah, no. We're not doing Ruby's workout.
I think we're hurting chat.
Let's hurt them more. Keep reading.
No, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, that's good.
The other thing we found is the Loud House revamped, which has, and get ready for these numbers, chat.
Oh God.
Rated Fiction T, English, Humor/Romance, Lincoln Loud and OC. Chapters 1,200. Words 6,606,993.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Reviews 1,360. Updated 18 hours ago.
It only has
Published
1,360? Like, you would think that would
Yeah.
have way more.
It's all in script format. I think this is more just a fascination thing.
So should we switch over instead of going on with the,
I don't want to just read it. I don't want to read it. I just want you to know this exists. It's written entirely in script format. For reference, if you have ever watched the Down the Rabbit Hole video on Henry Darker, he wrote that gigantic manuscript that was 13,000 pages or something like that. It was about 3 million words.
I still, it gets me that this thing has, it's one of the longest things ever written. It has 1,200 chapters, and yet if you do the math, doing some quick math here, 1,200 and divided, 1360 divided by 1,200, it gets 1.13 comments per chapter.
I also think it's worth noting that this was only written in the span of less than 3 years. Henry Darger wrote like every day of his life for like 60 years. This person is writing their OC X Lincoln Loud fanfic. Writing 6,000 words a day.
Oh my god, I'm just...
Like, you need to pull this up and show them the actual numbers.
I am. I'm right here on the page. Look at that, chat. Look at that. Holy crap.
Like, isn't that just unbelievable?
Yeah. This fanfiction is like when a year one programmer otaku creates an AI to make his fantasy stories come true and spans it over 5 years. I have no idea what you're referring to. Man, I like the Loud House, but this writer's got nothing better to do. Wait, aren't there like 1 million girls in Loud House? Why would you even add an OC? I didn't even know this was a this was doing my... Wait, what? I didn't know this was doing my kink Darkness likes. What are you referring to, Yanis? What are you referring to? Loud House or Yin and Thor? Either one, we have to ask you some questions.
The Bible is 184,600 words. So yeah, like, compare that.
Yeah. On the RT store, hey, are selling a shirt with Yang on the front, but her prosthetic is on the wrong arm. Yeah.
In a small group chat, a couple of my friends are reading. One of them read My Hero Academia fanfic, where one character realizes he's a girl and suddenly is the prettiest girl of all the girls. And every girl loves him, and this is like the biggest wish fulfillment thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is it a trans Deku fic or is it an OC?
I like how you went to Deku. No, it's trans Bakugo. Isn't Bakugo's the asshole one, right?
Yeah. I guess, are they trying to say that he's only an asshole because he's secretly like repressed trans?
Angry? I don't know. It doesn't come up. It's
of all the characters to choose.
What?
Of all the characters to choose, like Deku is like the one that be like the most easy to adapt.
There's a video on YouTube called it's like Bakugo discovers you've been self-cutting, like self-harming ASMR. And like the topic isn't funny, but watching this like 14-year-old girl in cosplay with her extremely feminine voice pretend to be Bakugo and wearing like a silly wig and then talking about that serious.
I need to go rethink my life.
James Dean 5842 to Henry Darker. The future is now, old man. I'm not really sure how to feel about this. Fanfiction is usually new work, which is kind of different from an official work. Henry Darger was an outsider artist. His work was not official. They just found the manuscripts. So it is similar.
Am I up to date on the My Hero Academia manga? I am not. I'm not even up to date on the anime at this rate.
I know there's a frog girl.
Yes, Froppy is adorable.
Bakugo would scare you into not cutting yourself if that were to happen.
Oh my god, my
Bakugo
cat is being...
Oi,
sure Jack, stop it!
I'm pretty sure Bakugo tells Deku to kill himself, like, multiple times.
Oh, he does. I mean, like, that's one of the opening scenes of the show, is Deku contemplating jumping off the roof. Like, My Hero Academia is a great show, but it's kind of lost its edge when it comes to certain things. Like, it only comes up sporadically, where it has, like, its actual bite. The rest of the show is just, like, super wholesome. Just, like, it's a weirdly imbalanced show in that, but it's also enjoyable in that way. Oh my god, we gained viewers back.
Katsuki was a girl. She found out a few months ago when she was staring at Momo's breasts and placed her hand on her own. They weren't the same as Momo's.
No, because no one can compete with Momo. Momo is a goddess with wonderful...
Isn't Momo stacked?
Yeah, she's like the most stacked character in the entire cast. Well, I say in the entire like class. There's several characters that outstack her because they're adults. Full adults, I should clarify, because
it's just a paragraph of "I want biddies."
Bakugo does have anger issues, but not because he's repressed trans person. Bakugo is just crazy. Like, he's not... Of all the characters in My Hero Academia, Bakugo is the one I understand the least. He seems like a bitter person for the reasons of being bitter. Mount Lady is biggest bae. I honestly, Momo, I just want to hug her. She's so sweet. Like, when she serves tea to everyone for a study session, and she's like just a gentle smile. It's wonderful. Wait, what?
Hold on, right. This not fair, Bakugo, a few of the girls whined. Why do you have to look so powerful and hot? I wanted to have my own charm. I didn't think I could be as classy or cute or beautiful, so I chose to look powerful, she answered honest.
Is this new Katsuki still an asshole? That's my question.
No, everybody loves her. Everybody loves her. And she's instantly super ultra pretty. Bakugo tells Deku to jump off a roof ASMR. Yeah, so yeah, this I feel like if Bakugo was like, guys, I realized something about me. Please treat me with respect. Everyone would be like, no, asshole.
Yeah, I think that'd be fair. Like, unless he came out and like, guys, I'm sorry for being such a big dick. I'm going to try to be better about it. Also, I've discovered this thing about myself. May actually kind of have to like talk about it as self-reflection, that sort of thing. That might work. Maybe. Not much. Not much. Just like I'm trans. Be nice to me. No, you're an asshole.
I just think this is like, I really love it when a fic is like super somebody's wish fulfillment, but like a very specific wish fulfillment.
Oh yeah, that's why I wrote Overdose, so I could actually live vicariously through someone using cocaine.
I know, but I like it when it's a really like pathetic wish fulfillment of just this guy being like, I wish I was the prettiest girl in school and that everybody loved me. It's like, bro, I understand the feeling that you want to be a different gender. That's respectable and fine. But if you're gonna be there being like, I hate that Victoria gets so many friends and I don't. It's like, bro,
that's just normal life for everyone.
That's just teenage angst, and it's like very cringy to witness.
Well, I'm gonna slam my head into a wall. I'll be right back in 5 minutes. Don't hit it too hard, or you won't be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Spoiler territory with Bun Girl. I've seen Bun Girl. I'm actually not impressed with the Bunny Girl in My Hero Academia. I usually like the Bunny Girls, but no, I'm not a fan of her.
I'm gonna look up Attack on Titan fan fiction just because I love Attack on Titan.
I mean, we're already on the touchy. We're already on the touchy subject. We can just go into together. We can handle it.
No, oh my gosh, no, because the commentary I have on that would get me kicked off of everything.
Oh God, but like, there's so many things in there beyond just like the whole, the main political issue that comes up, like. Just like the whole, like, consent thing, where it's like, oh my God, I touched your thigh, I need to be put in prison now. Like, that stuff alone is just, like, gut-roiling.
It is. My favorite thing about it is that the prose is actually sound. So this is, like, someone who's, like, very conscious of what they are saying.
Yeah.
Also, For Attack on Titan fanfic, though, chat, give me any activity or, like, a hobby. So, like, a sport or cooking, something like that. But be as specific as you can.
Frisbee. Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf. Okay. Attack on Titan Frisbee. Oh, there's actually none for that.
Yes!
So no Ultimate Frisbee. That's a shame. I wanted to see John and Rhina have some Ultimate Frisbee competition going on, you know?
Damn it.
What you reading? We are discussing what we should read that will not get us kicked off of YouTube.
But will be funny. So it's a very fine line we're walking here. Underwater basket weaving.
Oh, there is Golf AU. There is Golf AU.
Oh, there is golf. Okay.
There's Levi and Aaron mini golfing. Country Club AU. Guys, they'll play tennis.
There's bowling, lacrosse, chess, paddleball, I guess.
Tabletop wargaming. Oh, there's definitely Attack on Titan D&D, but it's gonna be like a funny thing, and that's not like it's gonna be cringe funny. It's like not gonna be good funny.
Yeah, it's like those chat fics where it's all about like
Attack on Titan. Lacrosse is like a great setup. Hold on. Okay, there is lacrosse.
It's like I know in Madoka Magica, there's actually like one of the largest fics is a hockey AU. That
yes,
like it has like
real
all the
person
ships.
Hockey fan fiction is a thing.
Oh my God.
And if you don't, bro, I know this. Okay. You know what? Drop the Attack on Titan. Hockey real person fanfic.
I don't know if I can't do real person. I can barely do live. I can't even do live action fanfic. Like things that are.
Let me just read the summaries.
Give me the link. I'll put it up on screen.
I know because most of the people don't really know much about the NHL, but Jamie Benn, ex Tyler Seguin, who are both players on the Dallas Stars. Alternate universe, non-famous, fluff, light angst, mutual pining. These are real people. Okay. Patrick Kane, ex Jonathan Tays, who are stars on the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, Chicago.
In fairness, I know also really big are like the Batang Boys or whatever, BTB. Like they're
BTS?
really, or BTS, whatever they're called. They're super popular.
For that.
Oh my God! Whenever I'm searching for like the particular tags I want, for some reason, like, even though it doesn't show up in like the most populated, they're always like the top 5, and I can't negate them because they're not in the most populated like fandoms. So you can't like find the like excise tag for them. It's really weird.
Oh, here's one. Mikasa Ackerman is a failing college student, and she can't seem to learn right due to her dyslexia. When everything seems hopeless for her, she goes to a coffee shop and meets Eren Yeager, a college student of the most prestigious schools. This is where he turns her life around.
I feel
there's
like
only 300 words, but
I feel like that would be like punching down. That's someone who very clearly has dyslexia.
Person clearly, yeah, that is punching down.
Oh, what's a chatfic? A chatfic is where a bunch of characters basically get in a group chat. That's basically it. It's just, and they can be fun.
I've only read one that was funny.
They can be fun. Little Witch Academia has a few fun ones, but they're not they're not like the high tier stuff. They're definitely just there for shits and giggles. It's busy work reading. That's all it is.
Attack on Titan.
Do you prefer
football.
fanfiction.net or AO3? I prefer AO3 almost overall. Actually, just talking with a bunch of Little Witch Academia fanfic writers about this. I prefer AO3 almost completely overall, with the exception of how its tagging for couples work. Because on fanfiction.net, and I can show you, I'll just go to games. Let's go to Kingdom Hearts briefly. In Kingdom Hearts, I can just go to filters, and I can say, oh, I want a Kairi X Sora fanfic. So I just go find Kairi, and then I find Sora. Where's Sora? Sora. Okay, finding Sora. And then I can literally just click this little check mark that says pairing. And it updates. And now, every fanfiction I come across will have their pairing. Or at least just about every single one will have it in brackets, so it'd be the pairing. On AO3,
I know. Yeah.
On AO3, you have to actually, like, finding a specific pairing, especially if it's a rare pair. Like, if I wanted, like, something
Oh my God,
really...
it's impossible.
Oh yeah, you have to actually like type in the full name / full name in like the unique search, and it gets really annoying.
I know a Mikasa X Rhina fanfiction. I like how you phrased that because you know what? There probably is only one.
Oh, good example. I love Bernie and Petra from Fire Emblem. I think they're a really cute ship.
The only 2 characters he knows.
No, I know a few more now thanks to you.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
But like, you introduced me to the two, and I put the pieces together. I think they're really cute together. So I'm like, I want to find some fan fiction. It is impossible to find their tag unless you are like literally typing in every single word of the tag, and it gets really really tedious when you're on the phone.
Yeah. It's also annoying because on fanfiction.net people do not tend to post background paired. But on AO3 people will tag as much stuff as possible. So like let's say you have like a rare pairing and it's just in the background all the time. Like let's say I'm a woke Attack on Titan fan who does not like Eren/Levi. Well, that's just too fucking bad. Because you look at any other character and the top ship is always Levi and Eren. I can't go into the Sasha tag and think that the top pairing isn't going to involve Sasha.
Yeah, it really is painful in that regard. Okay, here, chat. What do you want to see out of these streams? Because I need to start wrapping up and helping out downstairs for dinner. We're gonna try and continue these little fireside streams. What would you like to see out of it? Honestly. So like,
this is kind of a trial run.
It is a trial run. We're just trying to kind of suss out how it feels. Would you like us to read more bad fan fiction? Obviously not, considering how many people dropped. Would you like more Ruby discussion? I guess, but I don't know how long that could sustain us. We could talk about tropes. We could do trope talk of sorts.
We can. We can talk about. I think that a really good thing for any fanfic writers out there, or just writers in general, I think I said this before, never show your hand, okay? If you have sad teenage angst, please, 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 do not write that into your stories. It's very obvious.
Contrapoint, don't be the uncanny valley of that. Either show your hand, or don't show your hand. You can't have it in the middle where you're kind of like flashing at us and you're trying to be like coy about it. No. Either be all upfront with us or don't be upfront at all and have it all hidden. Like bury it. Like that's where you should be. You should be at one of the extreme ends. You shouldn't be in the middle where like we can basically tell what you're trying to do, but you're trying to pretend that we can't.
It seems like people actually did like the fanfic reading. I wanted to stop just because I got uncomfortable with it personally. I don't know how comfortable I feel reading like smut on stream. Now that I'm actually like on camera. That's why my face is still very red. But even creating fanfic, I don't know. Yeah, show your hand.
Anime is art. Soul Eater reactions.
I've never watched Soul Eater.
I've never watched... I've watched one episode of it, and I was not hooked. Though the opening is dope. I will say, the opening is animated exquisitely. I can't get into it. Soul Eater never really... It's one of those anime that, like... I have a particular need for, like, an aesthetic and a magic system. And that was one that, like, never felt super grounded to me. It felt like... It was a magic system that felt a lot like One Piece, where it kind of felt... I don't know how to describe it. It didn't ring true to me. Advice stream for fanfic writers. Fanfic readings would be good. Oh,
An advice stream would be good. By the way, here's my quick advice. This is a very, like, me thing. Other people don't really care for this. I don't like epitaphs in my writing. I don't like it when people are like, the blonde said. But if you're going to use it, don't be really weird about it. I think it's really weird when... First of all, yes, chat, we would like you to recommend fics, so we know what you guys want to see. But secondly, if you're going to use epitaphs for characters, never say, like, the foreigner, the Latino. It's really weird. Don't do that. I can't stop. I saw it and I can't stop.
What about
thinking
fantasy
about
races? I'm curious. Like fantasy races.
Unless it's a fantasy race, you can say, like, the elf, but please do not say, like, the Asian.
Yeah, okay. Real world races are probably not I got it. Flash, Jack the Cat, Flash what? Maybe not smut fanfics, but just random fanfics in general. But smut fanfics are so much fun when they're stupid.
I just don't know how comfortable I'd be, so I would really love if like, your patrons could send stuff.
Yeah, like, if you guys send stuff that you want read, we'll read it.
Double D cup set.
Actually, that could work if you're, like, doing it from the perspective of a pervert. Like, if your narrative, like, is kind of tinged with the personal descriptions of a perverted character, and, like, he just constantly described people by their cup size, and, like, he would describe men as, like, no cups.
The most obvious way, like, when it's smut fanfic, the most obvious tell that a man wrote it is when he starts referring to specific sizes. I don't know. It's very, very male when I see that.
I agree. Like, the only time cup size should come up directly is, like, if it's being talked about by the characters actively. Like, yeah, no, man, I need to buy a new bra. Like, this one doesn't fit quite right. Like, oh, what cup are you?
It's yeah,
I'm
that's
B
the
cup.
only,
Oh,
that's
I
the
actually
only,
have one
like,
here that might work for you.
There are very interesting tells for whether a man or a woman wrote smut. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
the chill face.
The chill face.
Yeah. Let's see. A part of me wants to submit certain crossovers. If they're not funny, don't send them. If they are just, here's fate crossed with hyperdimension Neptunia, I don't care. If they're funny, please send them. I want to see, like, Magic School Bus crossed over with Attack on Titan, okay?
I'm Googling that right now.
So no fan service. I don't know what that's referring to. You're not getting fan service from me, but, I don't know.
No, but there's an AMV. 13 seconds long.
Guys, so they're bad Fire Emblem fanfiction. I'm that.
Why don't you read some of the earliest fanfics you two in the chat wrote? Oh, okay. I would be willing to. I would be willing to and give critical challenge of my early fanfiction. Bad creepypastas? Nah, those are kind of boring. Although for spooky month, maybe. Though I'm already sick of Halloween. I am already sick of Halloween.
Hold on. Molly, mind going into more detail about those tells that you mentioned? Okay, I'm trying to like find a way to word this. The size thing is a big tell that a man wrote it. If there's more like
Men are about more the mechanical aspect of things, so you'll see that
yeah, that's a good
young
one.
male writers are very mechanical in it. And I actually have to struggle with that where I get down to like they did this, they did that, and like they're very much like machines when they're reading things out. That's what young male writers sound like. Young female writers are the opposite typically, where they're very flowery. They're incredibly
Yeah.
flowery, overly like everything needs to be ramped up to 11 with romanticization. Everything. Now, there's of course exceptions, but typically that's what you're going to come across.
Yeah, as far as interactions go, they will also be more like if we're talking smut specifically, you will see a lot of tells from porn, uh, whereas a lot of women prefer to read rather than watch. So you notice the tells there. So the characters in anything smut related that certain men write is very like exaggerated and tropey and just kind of archetypical. Uh,
You know what we should
whereas,
do? We should compare and contrast. There are two fics. There's My Immortal, and then there's there's 30 H's, which are like the exact. They are the perfect examples of young adult writing, or basically childish, like early fanfic writing. My Immortal is written by a woman, and 30 H's is written by a man. And it will tell you everything you need to know about terrible writing from a young writer.
yeah, what my early writing is like a male's, but I'm a woman. I mean, obviously, it's not a hard boundary.
Yeah,
So
it's just
really
typical,
more
like I said.
it really more reflects whether your brain is more the systemizing or more empathetic. So, you know, I would say it'd be interesting. I bet if you compared people who had like childhood ADHD or Asperger syndrome, you would see writing that is far more just straightforward. They said, they did, it was. Whereas, you know, people that are more like hyper emotional or hyper empathetic would be like, you know, the flowering rain of the sunset, and you know.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm writing right now. And for the record, I'm still working on fixing Ruby. In fact, we're crawling up to the next part. Trust me, the artists are working hard at work on certain scenes. I've been writing in the free time while I haven't been needing to edit because I'm waiting on art. And the thing that I'm currently writing was supposed to be a short story, turned into a novella. And I've been thinking I need to go back and I need to add a little more flower to some of the language. I think some of it feels mechanical in places, and that's the thing as a writer is that you don't necessarily, when you revise, that's when you start fixing things, and you'll see that from a lot of early writers. They don't want to revise. I hate revising, but sometimes you get your best work out of going back and being like, I can word that one sentence way better, and it can make an entire story. Just one sentence can fix an entire story and make it flow so much smoother.
I think it would be really interesting if people like sent in their writing, and we talked a bit about different writing styles, and
Yeah, that'd be
things
fun.
like that.
I think then maybe you scrounge up one of your early fanfics. I'll scrounge up one of my early fanfics.
I'm not doing that.
Why?
I'm not doing that. What?
Why not?
I don't like the early writing.
Exactly, that's the point. We get to shit on ourselves, Molly. I get to bring up that weird Metropolis fanfic that was a self-insert fantasy with a guy with robotic arms. Like, I get to bring that up and hurt myself on stream. I want you to be there with me, hurting yourself. We can self-harm together, Molly.
I'd be happy to, but still, if chat wants to do that,
I think they do.
Yeah, chat. If you want to do that, you know, put out a tweet about like Like Raymond put out a tweet about it. Yeah. It's interesting if people, like, as someone with Asperger's, I can agree about the mechanical thing. I don't have early smut. I've never written smut. It's a nice try, but
I've written a surprising amount of smut and published it.
You have.
Well, because like there were I think 2 or 3 commissioned smuts that I've published. There was the one that you like basically. I don't know how to describe it. Like we were having a conversation.
I didn't make you do anything.
You didn't make me do anything. I'm not saying you made me do. I'm just saying that like we had a conversation and it just spurred me to write this piece that's like kind of intense. You also like spurred me on to write like Overdose. Our conversations just get that weird in that weird area where I want to write. And then I wrote on the fly
we just push each other to write.
Yeah. And then there was a smut piece that I wrote for Little Witch Academia, where it was just me talking with a bunch of other Little Witch Academia writers, and just got off on this weird tangent where someone's like, I want a fic that at least has the line, Diana breaks the bed with her big ass dick, and I'm like, that requires a lot of work, and everyone was like, yeah, that requires a lot of work, and I'm like, wait, I can do this. I can make this work.
I want to go a bit more in depth. This is already turning into writing stream, which is great.
I think that's the point.
Numbers are staying steady. But, so, when people have systemizing brains, what they do is everything has to fit into boxes. And a reason why that people with systemizing brains are very prone to anxiety is because they compartmentalize. And basically what that means is that if something does not fit into these neat boxes, it causes distress. So they have to put it into something, whether it's correct or not. But that's why the writing feels very mechanical, because you're essentially pulling from a bank of boxes and saying, this is what works here, like an algorithm, you know? And you can write well doing that. You can. People say you have to be flowery and stuff, but I don't really believe that. I think you could be very sharp and quick with your writing if you want. You just have to make it sound good.
Yeah.
People with very non-systemized and very empathetic brains, everything is just kind of loose and everywhere, and there's a million connections being made at once. And that's how you end up with, 3-paragraph long descriptions, because it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And you have to get all these details down. And that's kind of where you find these,
it's
my
weird
name is
in
Ebony
that,
Darkness Dementia Ravenway. Today I was wearing, and then it's 2 paragraphs.
Like you really have to work at if it's an important detail, you thread it into the narrative, as opposed to if it's not an important detail, why mention it?
Yeah. If you want to learn how to condense your writing, I highly recommend songwriting, because Revedicate said this yesterday. Writing is the least constrained form of storytelling. If you're animating, you have to work within the budget of animation. If you're songwriting, you have to work within the lyric count.
If you're making a movie, you have to work with your actors. You have to work with what you have on set.
Yeah.
You have to work
but
with
when you're writing, you can just do anything you want, and that can lead to kind of overwhelming writing styles.
I mean, like I said, I'm writing a short story. It's now a novella. I meant it to be 40 pages. It is now up to almost 90.
Yeah, so
with that in mind, CJ Black asked a question. Wanted to address it before I forgot. How do you balance working on Ruby Rewrite with working on your own original projects? What I mean is, how do you keep both ideas both contained and prevent them from muddying each other? When I work on fixing Ruby, when I write it, I should say, I buckle down and I literally just dedicate 2 or 3 weeks to writing it. Maybe even a month if I really need to push that much time. When it comes to writing the Ruby, I just sit down and I zero focus on writing that, and I make sure all of my ideas for it spin out of what has already been established in the show. I try to I change things. You're going to see a lot of changes coming up. I've reintroduced Neo in Volume 4, for Christ's sake. That's already a major change. You got to keep...
Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'll just finish up. I keep it isolated to that. After that, all my other work, I don't even try to really keep it, like, not contained. I just keep in mind the setting and the story, and if I repeat elements time to time, I'm okay with it. It's fine. But fixing Ruby, I keep in a vacuum. I buckle down and write it in a vacuum, pass it by Fat Man, have the shit kicked out of me, and then I fix it again. So it's like that's how it works. But yeah, please go ahead, Molly.
Yeah, so the thing about songwriting that I think is especially helpful is the average song is in the hundreds. An 1,000-word song is like 6 minutes. A song is usually going to be within 200 to 500 words. Tell a scene with that like you'd write in prose. I'd say 500 words of song is about equal to like 3,000 words of writing. Like writing regular prose. But the thing is, if you want to do it right, you really have to take the specific thing that is most crucial to your story and put it in lyric. You can't be like, okay, I'll just pad this between a bunch of stuff, because it's a song, and you really don't have that much room to work with. So,
unless you're writing like a full 9-minute ballad, that's something different.
But if you're just writing a regular song, that's how I got started. Was I wanted to rewrite Ruby music when I was 15, and I started doing that, and I learned over time how to really tell a good tight story. And the way I know that this has progressed is my songs have gotten shorter in word count.
Jack the Cat asks, someone writing a fic about you two, how would you feel? Define about us two, because if it's just about us doing things together, okay, just normal things, fine.
But anything else, I don't think our respective girlfriends would be very happy about that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And also she's kind of I'm not afraid to admit, kind of had a little bit of a crush on you early on. I thought you were really cool. I'm not afraid to admit that. Yes, I did. But as we kind of worked through our discussions and such, I was like, no, this is just a really good friend. This is someone so you're friend zoned, but no, I don't think you mind that.
No.
So she's awesome.
Right, and Molly fanfic is the thing.
Yeah, she's awesome, but she's my friend. That's be all end all.
The real thing is when there's a threesome with Tiny Wise.
All right, I might be willing to bend on that one. No. Get really weird with it. All right, if you're going to go that route, get weird. Get really weird.
There is a genre of fanfiction that's intentionally written just to be as awful as possible. Not in grammar, but in content, and it's so bad it loops back around to being hilarious.
I rarely come across those, though.
I'll have to send you a few.
Let's see. I struggle trying to write. I have ideas, but I just can't write them down. All right. This is a big one. Writer's block is one of the most painful things. And the thing I can just say is just write. And I don't mean write good. Don't try to write good. Just write. The hardest part of writing for me is momentum. Is just getting started and getting going. Then after that, you can fix everything in writing. You can go back into a story and completely change an entire chapter. Completely. And then just go through the fic or the story or whatever and fix things as you go. Just...
Don't be afraid of editing.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of editing. Just write. All right? Just write. And you will start to get a groove. And you'll figure it out.
You know what? Something I do when I really have writer's block, which hasn't happened in a while, but I go on rhymezone.com, which obviously I use for songwriting usually, but even for prose. Even for prose, a lot of the times, words that rhyme just kind of have a theme to them, and you kind of get these images in your head, especially because rhymezone also gives you related words. So let's say I'm writing a song, my love ballad to Tiny Weiss, and I look up, ice rhymes with Weiss, so I look up ice. And then on the page, I can do synonym /related, and it gives me frost and snow and glaciers and like it kind of puts a scene in your head. I don't know. That's like a dumb thing I like.
The
Toy Story, but with Mollie's plushies.
Also, one of the most useful pieces of advice that I've ever had is when you are writing, when you're stuck at a point where you're not sure how to continue, go the exact opposite direction of where you were going.
Oh, the Pixar rule?
Is that the Pixar rule? I don't know. Like
that is the Pixar rule.
The rule of literally, like, if you have a main character, just kill them right in that moment. Kill them off. How does the story progress from that point forward? And it will tell you, it will help you understand better your entire your work from the get-go, because you start understanding how all the mechanics play together, and that might jam loose some of the debris that are in between all the cogs. You might be able to just knock them loose by like going the opposite direction.
Yeah. Hold on. I just want to point out. So Brady says, "I love making concept and world building, but I'm bad at making the actual story." So this loops back to the systemizing brain. It's because you know, people with the systemizing brains like the building blocks. They like the structure of it. It's the writing part that's hard, because you don't want to write a story. You want to just create a world. But here's the thing, is that you can't have one without the other. Actually, you can have a story without world building if it's like modern AU or whatever.
I mean, technically speaking, that still is actually world building, because the world is just built for you already.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
but if like this is the plot of Isaacin, is you have this girl who's obsessed with making concepts and world building, but she has to be like smacked on the head 3 times a day to actually write a story.
Yeah, the what I would suggest with that is make the world then. Just write the world elements down and just keep building the world. Because as you build the world, you will find the story threads that you want. Like some of the most interesting story threads I've created for this short story collection I'm writing have come from the fact that I've established countries. And I just had the stray thought of, how is this country founded? Like, rarely does anyone ever think about that, but like countries being founded, like the most famous, of course, is the Revolution with America. But like, ask the question: how was Australia founded? I don't know.
Criminals.
Well, it was, you know, the thing is, it was populated by criminals, but how was the country itself, with its constitution or whatever, and its political system, how was that founded? How was that put in place? How was England founded? Like, that goes back to, like, just the Magna Carta, but, like, even before that, you had kingdoms. How did that all come to power?
It's interesting because I remember reading The Hunger Games when I was 14, 15 years old. More like 13. But I remember thinking, this actually is too much story. I do not really care for the main character. I want to know what's going on out there.
In what
if
story?
You do The Hunger Games,
oh.
If you do good enough world building, people want more, because I want to. If you can do just a short stories about a world, I don't know, and tie it together somehow.
Oh yeah, like like I said, for this series that I'm writing, I have a plan for a much longer serialized story following a main character and a main cast. But the first thing that I'm writing is a series of like 7 short stories that like flesh out the world. Like it builds the world in like. And it's weird because, like, the entire selling point of the setting is that it's a modern fantasy. It's a modern set. But a lot of these stories take place in the past because they build up the modern setting, and they give reason for why things exist the way they do.
Monty once said that world determines culture, and culture determines people, and people determines the story, which is sort of right, but also he was a garbage writer, and we all know it.
Yeah, like the saddest part about Monty is that he was not good at doing what he preached. Because again, like, think back to Pyrrha. She's from Mistral. Mistral is mostly Asian. Why is a Greek person from Asia?
Yes. Also, you can do that the other way. If you have a story... Okay, the best way to write, in my honest opinion, and I learned this from Ace Attorney and Zero Escape, so that's very specific types of stories, but get a scenario, skip everything, write the ending, go back.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like my big thing is I have a beginning, I have an end, and then I just start dropping points in the middle where I'm like, okay, I kind of want this scene, I kind of want this scene, and then it's all about threading those elements together and then making like it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like having clay, and I'm dropping these very defined like shapes. No. It's like making a sculpture, and you have like things that you want in the sculpture, like elements you want. So you make those elements first, and then you put clay between them, and it's all about smoothing out the elements between so they all flow together nicely. It's kind of like that in my head. That's how I kind of do it. Is that where it's all about like putting down the vague shape, you know, by having these defined endpoints and then defined points along the way, and then just like molding everything into the shape I want.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Brady. Like that's the kind of stuff you need to write down. England
I'm not
was
doing
founded.
that right now, but
Sorry, you go.
But if I ever sit down and write like a good length story, I might do that. I love it when a story just everything connects, everything comes together. In Ace Attorney 5, literally every single minutia of what happens in that last case hinges on Athena's backstory. If anything is different in that backstory, nothing makes sense anymore.
Although I would argue
it's actually really cool.
Yeah, but I still do not like Dual Destinies, man.
I'm just saying, the first, 60% of that case is really good.
Oh, yeah. We couldn't have Gumshoe. Like, come on. Come on!
Still, the point is that, everything you should, don't world build just for the sake of it. I don't want to read a gigantic chapter, about everything going on in this town and the orcs that live there and how they're all train conductors, because the orcs, I don't give a shit if it's not related to the story. So a lot of
Tell us
really
about the one orc train conductor and why, tell us basically why we're focusing on him. What makes him so special to focus on? And focus on that element. Does he not play by the rules and he ends up getting someone killed, or is he the only one that plays by the rules and he's being blamed on, wrongfully? It's all about, stories are all about things that defy the norm. So when you build a world, what you're looking for is things that either defy the norm or define the status quo. Those are the two big things you want to look for. Things that define the status quo, so the formation of a country. The story of the formation of a country defines what the status quo of that country is. And then later on, you can have someone like a politician running for office that completely throws things in the whack because they defy so much of what that status quo established. That's the story. That's a story you can thread.
Hold on. So it seems like Cinder is being built up as an endgame villain, probably for Ruby to defeat. Do you think Neo would work better as a foil to Ruby? I think that Neo was set up well as a foil to Yang, and they just kind of forgot.
Oh yeah, they completely forgot that. When was the last time she and Yang interacted? Ever?
I don't know.
I think it was Volume 2.
But back to what we're saying. So a thing that I do sometimes when I'm bored and I'm talking with Raymond or I'm talking with just another friend of mine, is we go through Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
and
I love that.
Pokemon's world building is in such a way that it's so ripe for overinterpretation. And what a lot of people do is they'll be it's actually dark and violent and Pokemon attacks kill you. But that's boring. I think
meanwhile we're here debating, okay, what religion does Marnie worship?
Is Marnie Anglican?
And we came up, she's devout Anglican. Her and Piers go to church every Sunday on the, regularly. Meanwhile, you have the Presbyterian Gloria, who is just constantly she's not super devout, but she's not blasphemous either. But she's, she's very, very crude and crass. And I take it a step further because Molly doesn't like shipping as much. I like shipping. I think Marnie and Gloria is cute. And so I keep coming up with ways... What?
I just want to say, someone goes, Pokemon manga is awesome. Pokemon Adventure slaps, and you should all read it.
Yeah. I keep coming up with ways for, like, Gloria becomes, like, a theologian, borderline theologian, trying to figure out ways that her and Marnie can actually have a romantic relationship without it violating the Church of God. Like, you can... I like those stories.
The thing, or like, we'll be like, man, there's no Mega Evolution in Galar. What if it's some sort of like sectarian conflict between them and Kalos because Kalos used Mega Evolution in that war that canonically happened 3,000 years ago? And what if that war was with Galar? And now Galar is like religiously against Mega Evolution, and there's like racism against people from Kalos.
Yeah, so we had
we had Nessa. Nessa was like Colossian but like ethnically.
Ethnically, yeah, because
like her parents were Colossian.
I think like whatever the Pokemon version of Moorish would be.
What?
Or Moors were Spanish, weren't they? They were Spanish,
no.
right?
The Moors were Spanish. No, but we did it so it was like that, and there's like the law that passes to ban Mega Evolution. Because there is no Mega Evolution in Galar. That's like a thing in the game. They removed that mechanic.
You wrote an entire fic where Nessa got the shit kicked out of her because she was at a protest for Mega Evolution.
No, it was she was just walking home, and they had just passed a law banning Mega Evolution, and everybody, like all the racists, just came out of the woodwork. And like it's so much fun. You could just do so much of it. It's great.
Oh, you have people that worship Arceus, but you also have people that worship like Mew. You have people that worship...
No, you have the people that worship Arceus. You have the people that... I think the Mega Evolution people are like the Rayquaza ones. You know? Or like Xerneas and Yveltal. And then like Arceus is like the ones in Sinnoh and the ones in Galar.
Oh, what was the weird connection that we drew? We're like
the weird connection that we drew is that the Mega Evolution religion was like our analogy to Catholicism, and like there was the
sect of Catholicism in Japan is actually in the region that Hoenn is based on.
Yeah.
So it kind of like the subtle indication that it actually has water to it.
And I hate that, but like what we're trying to point here is that we've taken something that has a substantial amount of world building to it, and we are honing in on it and then creating stories out of it. And obviously we're just having fun here, but like this is how you should be handling your own world building. Really just hone in on details instead of being like going on and on and on about why this weapon is so cool. Because again, I just don't give a shit, okay? As your reader, if you start describing this special weapon in amazing detail, I don't care how hard you worked on it, I won't care, just personally, and it's nothing against you. It's about me trying to enjoy your work.
The thing is, that can work if the character themselves are analytical like that.
Yeah.
Like a character that like appreciates weapons and has like throughout the book been like able to make commentary on different weapons. You can have fun things where like they can do an archer where they actually count the shots. Or like they're using a Glock 17 that has around 19 round magazine. They fired 7. And like they have like that kind of mindset where like later on then you introduce like, oh my god, is that the XR-24? Oh, this is one of the most powerful weapons in existence. It has and he's like going off and gushing about this thing. Like you can write an entire character like that to fill that slot and give that detail. But now it's not just you just giving the flat details. It's this character having an emotion over those elements that are so vital to it being important.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I know that Channel Awesome sucks now and everything, but I distinctly remember when I was like a young teenager watching Nostalgia Critic's review on the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action film, and the thing that stuck with me is the reason why The Last Airbender was so bad as a movie is because it missed the basic building block of storytelling, which is something happens and characters feel things. They don't stand there and talk about what's happening or the background. They have an emotion to it. And that's why that movie sucked, is because nobody had any emotions to it.
Has there ever been a
There was
novel
no
series
space.
franchise that tells us multiple self-contained stories? I mean, if you really want to get into it, Stephen King. Stephen King does that. All of his
You're
stories are
right.
technically in the same universe.
Stormlight Archive. Bryan Sanderson's works are all tangentially connected. Like,
there's what is it? I mean, if we're getting like even more microcosm, Artemis Fowl technically speaking doesn't really refer into itself too much. It doesn't have like a through line narrative. It's all separate instances that all are interdependent.
you know what's a good rule? You know what's a great rule? Like, I'm just thinking about this. Think about, like, you know how we talked a bit about, oh man, I'm out of focus again. All right, Tiny Wise, do your thing. And we're good. You know how we talked about, like, reader insert fanfics?
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're cringy, but the whole thing about why those, like, you see those the most in franchises that are ultra popular. And I think the reason why is because they have created a setting where there are multiple interesting stories that could be told from any, like, Joe Schmo's perspective. You know, anybody in the Hunger Games is gonna have some, like, weirdo backstory because it's the Hunger Games and there is, like, a thing that they're all kind of living around. People who put self-insert in Harry Potter is because they want to tell their story through the lens of Harry Potter. People who do it for you know, just anything. Like Percy Jackson, Attack on Titan, Star Wars. It's because these franchises have built themselves around the idea that there are so many stories to tell in these worlds. It doesn't matter if the world building is super tight and super sound and super detailed. There's enough.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I completely agree. Like enough world building and you'll find all the fix you want on that kind of stuff. I mean, like, again, the setting that I'm writing
It's
right
such
now,
a balance.
the setting,
Just don't go overboard.
yeah, the setting that I'm writing right now is a tabletop setting. Like, I intend to turn it into a tabletop. I have the tabletop written, actually. I'm still refining it, but I have it written. But like that's over 600 pages. I need to refine that down. Also, I need to start getting going for dinner. But I'm saying, wrapping this up, world building is important because world building defines the characters. Characters define the story. But the world itself could also define the story. Like, there's so many ways you can take a writing. But you're right. I think you're right that, like, the more interesting the setting, the more interesting the setting, the more things
But
come
interesting is the key word.
Yes.
Interesting is the key word.
Yes.
It might be interesting to you. It might not be interesting to everybody else. That's just the fact. You know? When I think Ruby lost the moment it got away from Beacon's setting. Because no more OCs going through Beacon. You know, it's just too loose. There's nothing interesting. It's the opposite extreme.
Yeah, it's really weird how that happened. I don't know. Honestly, I would have set the story at like all 4 years.
Yeah.
Of all 4 or all 3 years. I think it's 3 years at Beacon. I'm not sure. They never defined that. Error: YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, if that's not a sign for us to wrap up, I don't know what is.
All right. Nice chilling with y'all.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll do this again next week. See if we can draw some
more
interest in it.
organized. Sorry if we made anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're just trying. We're kind of just shooting everything at the wall, see what sticks. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you'll catch us all in the next stream. Catch you all
next week, same time.
Yep, on the flip side.